TM1 is committed in enabling Digital Malaysia with transformative cybersecurity solutions, namely our Cyber Defence Centre or CyDEC. So we have made significant investment and effort in transforming our cybersecurity product and solution under CyDEC program, having a full suite of managed security services and a global cybersecurity operations center or GCSOC. So as we're becoming a managed security services provider, TM1 offering advanced cybersecurity services such as global cyber threat intelligence for businesses that need enhanced protection and compliance to regulatory requirements, including ISMS, PCI DSS, RMIT, and PDPA.
Of course, now that you brought up the SME market, right, it's a big market out there.
Correct.
And you're not the only provider.
Correct.
So if someone were to come and ask you, why should I choose you? What's your differentiating point? What would you say?
Well, we have been in the industry for since independence. We have been protecting the government's services, the critical network information infrastructure services. We've been protecting more than 11,000 enterprises today that we're supporting as our customers. So our track record has been there since we're providing their network, the connectivity. And this connectivity has to be protected as well because of the network security is so vulnerable for attacks such as the DDoS attack, or that basically don't have the connectivity or access to whatever their digital assets. So this is something that we have proven throughout the years. We have the scale, we have the resiliency, we are able to support them even during COVID-19, for example. During remotely, we can do that. And we're also being supported not only by the local experts, partners, alliance. For example, we work with Cybersecurity Malaysia, NACSA, but also we are looking at a global security alliance such as Telefonica. We're also planning to be part of the Global Telco Security Alliance that provide this global threat security intelligence, cybersecurity intelligence. So these are all things that we need to have the what we call intelligence of cybersecurity threats for us to be able to predict, also to protect, defend, and also respond to any cyber attacks for our customers of our services.
Cybersecurity attacks, these threats evolve, sometimes daily, sometimes monthly. Are businesses in Malaysia aware of how fast these things move?
I think if we see in the physical world, we talk about a lot of scammers. Even some of the banks are having difficulties in having a lot of rogue websites that create a lot of social engineering attacks and everything else. So basically, the businesses is aware on the threats. It's just the attention of the board of directors, the C-level, to prioritize cybersecurity as part of their business strategy, as part of their business plan, in strengthening their business. So this is where I think we are working very hard at the industry level, working with CSM and NACSA to promote cybersecurity best practices. We also have a lot of plan in working together with the C-level when we are engaging them for our cybersecurity discovery workshop to make sure they understand their cyber threat landscape and what can be done to improve, to enhance, and also to make sure that whatever the gaps can be taken care of, whether from our services or from any services that we can recommend for them to take care and protect themselves.
And when you approach these C-level management levels, what has the feedback been like? Of course, after you offer them their services and before, you have to educate them on cybersecurity. Not everyone is the head of cybersecurity to really understand the threat. What's the reception been like on that side?
I think most of what we're seeing is that they basically understand the threats. They basically recognize the fact that it's part of the business risk that they need to manage. So when they when especially the BFSI, the industry related to the banks and the financial sectors, because they are regulated, they have to comply with RMIT as part of the requirements, and they recognize the needs to protect themselves. For other industries, it's pretty much what you call self-recognition to support, to ensure that nobody can harm their business with the cyber attacks. This is something that I see that more and more C-level wants to work with us to make sure that they understand better what are the cyber threats level that they are having today and how they can protect better than what they have today. Because most of the enterprises, what we see today is very, very reactive to protect themselves. So when the attack happens, only then they respond. That's not going to work in the future, even today, because the advance, the sophistication, the frequencies of the attacks, we don't even know if they already attacked the organization or our organization. This is something that people sometimes takes them years to realize that actually there's already been attacked, or there's because it's a silent mole in the organization, in the network. So this is something that we are helping the customer to realize that let's see, and do some warranty assessment. Let's do some security posture assessment. Let's look at how healthy is your organization in terms of protecting other attacks. And we also recognize that today the insider attacks, at least 40% are coming from the inside. And we don't even know these threats if we don't have the capability to detect. So we are helping the customers and the C-level to understand the landscape, their current landscape, to understand where they are and how they can improve themselves.
But after offering your services, what's the feedback been like?
Okay, when we see and basically have the what I call testing and everything else, some of them are surprised that they don't even know that these threats are actually there. It's something that they don't even know that it already happened, some of the cases, or they don't even know that it exists before or after the attack. And this is something that I see the value that we bring in, because some of the sophistication, the forensics, the root cause of the problem is their employees themselves. So for example, like if we really want to test the employees for a phishing scam, so we can simulate that and test it to the organization. And this is something that we also want their security team, analyst team, to also be part of our simulation, for example. And they really understand this so that they can be protecting themselves. So these are the value that we bring in to the customers.
As the head cybersecurity, I'm sure you have dealt with various industries in Malaysia. In all these years, which industry would you say that is highly in need of a cybersecurity defense services?
I think beside the government, because of course in every government of the world is all being attacked almost every day. But of course, in terms of the industry, BFSI is there. It's one of the top industry that being attacked. Healthcare, and we see also a lot of oil and gas and other commercial markets. I would say that this, but top of the list has always been BFSI and healthcare actually.
Do you think, especially during the coronavirus pandemic period, do you think the healthcare industry should be more vigilant towards these attacks, especially now?
I think what experience in Malaysia is something that the healthcare services provider are still in denial of actually they are being attacked. So this is where we see that we should work together more closely with the healthcare services provider, because the attackers is not coming from Malaysia, it's coming from anywhere, any parts of the world, to get the information to get the healthcare information. This is something that is being sought after, and it can have a price for the services, and it's not that easy to attack healthcare industry. But again, it can be penetrated. It can be penetrated. As we see that some of the information are being sold in the dark net, in the dark web. So our healthcare users need to be more aware that they need to do a lot of cybersecurity assessments themselves to make sure that they are well protected.
Cybersecurity, it's still regarded as an add-on service by enterprises, right? But how can, you represent the TM1 head of cybersecurity, how can you bring this very important aspect to the front, and how would you communicate this to your clients and potential clients as well?
Okay. Well, we started off with our connectivity and protecting our network services with firewall, with a lot of network security parameters that we offer to the customers. Of course, it started as an add-on earlier, but then when we move on toward having our data center, our cloud services, our smart services, cybersecurity, our CyDEC, Cyber Defense Center solution and products are well integrated as part of the offering to the customers. So it's no longer an add-on, it's something that customers themselves sometimes or make it a requirement to make sure that their network, to make sure that their digital on-premise or cloud services have the security embedded into the package. So this is something that we see more and more today, that our customers are making it mandatory requirements to make sure that whatever the services that they are having on top of their network, on top of their data center, on top of their cloud, is well protected with the cybersecurity services. So we are offering that together with all our products.
So you have noticed the awareness and the, like you said, mandatory requirement has actually increased over the time, and I'm assuming that you might even see a higher increase as well after this. Like we were speaking, digitalization has been part of businesses in the country, right? Pre-COVID, it has also been part of it, but post-COVID, and as it's going on, that's kind of accelerated, right? Can you share some of your initiatives that you're working with government to address this?
Okay, as we have seen drastically that during the COVID-19 and even post-COVID-19, that government services with the recovery plan, when we look about Penjana, for example, this is something that most of the services need to be there urgently. Need to have the resiliency to be able to support the volume of transactions. So what TM is offering is that we offer a secured cloud-based services for these services. For example, like MySejahtera. It's something that we are offering to the government that have the scale, the resiliency and security to make sure that the government services, the government critical network information infrastructure is well protected, but again, it serves the purpose for the nation. And a lot of government network services also is supported and monitored by our GITN, Security Operations Center. So we are actually monitoring the critical network information infrastructure for the government. And we are also working with NACSA, for example, with Cybersecurity Malaysia in promoting cybersecurity best practices. And we are also having Cybersecurity Malaysia to certify our public and private cloud with cloud security assessment and certification. So these are something that we are working and ensuring our government and also our enterprise customer, whatever the infrastructure that we have is well protected, and also there are services that they can also add on or have to have the peace of mind in terms of security. And we have cybersecurity measure to do the assessment for us.
I see. Let's just say that there are still organizations that don't have these defenses.
Okay.
Perhaps of course when you say businesses in KL, maybe they're also aware. TM1 has done a very good job in really instilling the need, the awareness. But if you, let's say you go out of KL, you've got more and more businesses coming up. People used to move to KL now, but now they are willing to put up a business in Terengganu, Kelantan,
Right.
Ipoh. How would you go to them and say, okay, I know that you might think it's not important, but it is important, and how would you convey that message to them?
Okay. I think for our state customers, we're also engaging with our state account managers and to make sure that whatever the businesses in the states are well taken care of, including cybersecurity. So again, it doesn't matter where they are in Malaysia, it's in the state or in federal. So it's the same approach that we do engage with them, even at the state level, state government level. So we do engage with them directly to make sure that they understand and how they can protect their state digital infrastructure. If there is a businesses that coming from the state, also we are engaging them directly to make sure that they understand the threats, they understand the risks, and what are the services that we can offer for them to protect themselves. Because we have presence in the whole Malaysia, and we also are supporting the state government and the state operations. So it's easier for us to support them nationwide. We have account managers that managing also state level of businesses and enterprises. This is something that we can leverage our direct engagement with the customers.
Mr. Thaib, how would businesses know what they need from TM1? What would you do what are the initiatives that you have to let them know on this?
Okay, at the enterprise level, because we have the account managers that have a direct engagement with our customers from the working level to the C level. So we approach them directly, and what we are offering also is our discovery workshop and how they can learn what are the areas of importance in managing their cyber threat landscape. We also can expose to them, what they need to know more about the cyber threats assessment. So we can do the assessment as well with the customers, and having a high-level design of what is really needs for them to protect the whole organization, their businesses, their customers, their operations. And what is valued by customers about the discovery workshop is that sometimes they don't even know what they have, what need to be protected. And some, they even see that there are much more controls, security controls that need to be enhanced to ensure that they have the end-to-end visibility assessment of what they need to protect and how they want to protect it. So more what you call predictive type of response rather than reactive type of security capability that we propose in the workshop.